And I want you to hear from Lidy Flom. We call her Dr. Ignite. Why? I'll tell you why. Because, my friend, when you get this information, when you get the knowledge, when you get what she teaches, it will ignite your mind to the possibilities, and it will ignite you to do something. See, here's what I teach. True information that doesn't increase cognitive thinking, create a change in your heart, movement in your feet, or money in your pocket is wasted or misinformation. Did you get that? That's an information that doesn't create cognitive thinking, create a change in your heart, movement in your feet, or money in your pocket is wasted or misinformation. See, the purpose of true education is not so much so you can know, it's so that you'll not just know, but more importantly or equally important, so that you will go. Okay? So get ready to be ignited. This lady loves people. Listen, she has built a team of over 77 or 74 or 76,000, somewhere around there, people, my friend, and one company. And she's for 37 years has been assisting doctors and physicians and those really who instead of want to be in disease management, want to be really, truly health care. But not only that, my friend, she's been empowering individuals and oh my goodness, and women especially. But it doesn't matter who you are. When you hear this lady, her passion, when you hear the depth of her knowledge, you sense the concern, you sense the love, and then, my friend, you get ignited to say, wow, wow, wow. So Lidy Flom and her powerful husband, Terry, by the way, she hails out of Atlanta now, and she is on a mission, and so you want to hear her with great delight. By the way, she's not going to be speaking on this topic, but she has a pre-recorded message that everybody in the world has to listen to, and that is, get something to write with. The number is 646-653-1830. 646-653-1830. Now, I'm going to give you an assignment at the end of the call, after she's done, if you're not at work, whatever, call the number 646-653-1830. And then, if you love people, text that number to people with your membership where they, my friend, can listen to that call, and then they will probably decide to order some products that will help them. So the next voice you hear is going to be that of Lidy Flom. And Lidy, my friend, as we call her, Lidy Love, and others call her Dr. Ignite. Welcome to the call this morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I'd like to be here as always as I listen in on these calls many mornings as a result of just knowing that in the morning, if I can wake up, I can lift up. And I love that thought process because of the fact that I know that it is a dawn of a new day. And there is a book that I read years ago. Somebody encouraged me to go and get this book because of the fact that we're living in a time where there's many prophecies and scientific advancements that are taking place, and for us to understand that there's change, which is forever in the existence of mankind. So as it is that I was in the midst of the changes in my life, I was in changes in my career. I, started a family, and then there was a change because this baby was not well at the 9-month checkup, and so I had some more changes to make. And I was looking at my life, and I was told I was going to be in a wheelchair in 10 years because of the health that I was challenged with. And so I kept looking at life. The only thing that's forever constant is change. And then for whatever is constant by way of change, either we resist it or we embrace it. So with looking at it from that, well, let's embrace change, it shifted everything. And then later on, our son ended up with Lyme's disease. With Lyme's disease, I saw a 15-year-old go from a major stature in his health and his so-called body function, and he was a major player, football player, loved football, and in 1 month he lost 30 pounds, and he could not turn his eyes in his head, and he could not even turn his head on his shoulders. So we were in a major place of being devastated. Needless to say, that was something that changed my life for the rest of my life. And again, I didn't put him in the hospital. I put him in the bathtub to become hydrated because they said he was dehydrated because of all this vomiting. So I'm very clear about the fact that hydration is everything. And if you get dehydrated to the point of like your body can freeze. So with that, you continue to have these wake-up calls, and the wake-up calls, for me, kind of create what is called that thirst to know something greater. Well, he went on to college. He went on to finish school, but in 10th grade, he flunked out of a private school. I'm sharing this for a reason, is because it was everything shut down in his body. He couldn't even think anymore, and he became suicidal and depressed, and his body was like having an arthritic body with fibromyalgia, with sleep apnea, and this man was just like in a state of, downward spiral. And then somebody said to me, well, there's a technology out here that maybe would help him keep the blockages open. And I said, well, certainly we have plenty of blockages. And I went on to learn about quantum energy. And in the quantum field of energy is a brand new place to step in, because everything is energy. Everything is a vibration. Thoughts become things, but thoughts have energy. And so when we look at how everything communicates, I'd like to share a visual with you today, which is a triangle. And the triangle, if you have this triangle on your paper, that if you look at the left side of the triangle, you could write the word functional. And then on the right side of the triangle, write emotional. And on the bottom side, write energetic. Well, you could look at that from another word, and you could say where the functional is, write the word body, and then on the right side put mind, and on the bottom side put spirit. And then you could put on the left side again the Father, and then on the right side you could put Son, and on the bottom side you put Holy Spirit. And all things operate as one. So here we are looking at how it is that we live and exist in this world, that we are a spirit being having a human experience. And so we have elements that are in this sphere. So with that being said, now knowing that science and prophecies are continuing to unveil themselves, I want to just share a few words from the Message of the Divine Iliad by Walter Russell. And the book is called The Dawn of a New Day in Human Relations. So this is a man that the Lord spent 39 days with him and told him he could not publish this information for 40 years because man would not comprehend this communication and this kind of thinking, because there had to be an unveiling of more prophecies and scientific achievements for this new understanding. So here's what it says: knowing versus sensing. Knowing that we live in two universes, the universe of sensing and the universe of knowing. And the universe of sensing is the visible material, electric universe of motion, with which we are very familiar with. The universe of knowing is the invisible universe which we cannot sense. So man begins to exist upon this earth with sensing only, and he has no knowledge whatsoever when he begins, and he lives entirely in the instinctive electric universal of sense. So the nerves of the body are what make us aware of the material existence. So sensation is what we feel with our body. And we are electrically aware that we have a body. And this electrical awareness means that now we walk into what is called knowing. So electrical awareness of his body does not mean that he knows anything because of the awareness of his body. It's the sensing. So it's the sensing and knowing that we're trying to create a clarity about. So in sensing and knowing have no relation to each other. Sensing consists of vibrating waves of two lights of matter in motion. And knowing consists of one light, capital O and capital L, of spirit, which is still. And the one light, lowercase, one still light of knowing centers all motion, just as the still fulcrum centers the moving lever. Now, as I just shared that triangle with you, knowing that we are whole beings, as one we live, and in these two universes of the sensing and the knowing. And I'm wanting to share this morning because I know that when we start to understand the cycles of how we have unveiling coming to us, that this sphere around me, I have a 0-point energy field around me. And I know people talk about aura. They talk about being able to douse, and they can take energy off of a product or food. We can feel energy. You can go to an event and the energy in that room rises, and there's lots of energy, and then it falls. Like somebody left, something happened, like the party went flat or the event went flat, something happened. So everything is energy. And so words and thoughts and emotions, and how we operate, we can create what is called the rise and fall of, because they all impact one another. So now on to what is called a product that's called a Nano Card. The Nano Card is a piece of, let's call it, you might call it plastic, but it looks like a credit card because we call that plastic. We can call that, maybe that's just something that has some association to helping me link my connections to everything so I can have my world of finance work. But this Nano Card is a negative ion technology. So we have positive charge in our body and we have negative charge, and we want balance between positive and negative. You might say, like in the world, everything needs balance. So yin and yang, up and down, fast, slow, in, out, all that is equal opposites, but we want balance. So the body wants to be in a state of homeostasis. And homeostasis is when the body is always on, maybe call it the teeter-totter, acid alkaline, right? So we're on a teeter-totter, but we want to be in the middle. We want to be balanced. So as a result, our body has a need for negative ions, and then we have positive ions. Positive is pain. Positive is a poison. Positive charge in the body is toxic. So that's in the world as we think positive, negative. I want you to know that in internal world that a positive ion is a toxic situation. You might say, where's my pain today? And if you follow little tweaks of maybe a pain or some energy, it's just energy now flowing, that there could be a blockage there, and that's an indicator. So if you had a dashboard on your body, it would probably have some lights going off, maybe periodically or constant. And the question is, are you going to do something? Like if your car had a constant light on, would you get it to, the body shop or the, engine shop, or would you go and get some oil in the car? Would you put some water in the radiator? Would you put some gas in the gas tank? So the question is, and then what are you going to put in there? You can put the wrong kind of oil. You can put, the wrong kind of even water. You can even put the wrong kind of gasoline or the fuel in that body. So in the car, like your body. So it doesn't really matter what we're talking about here. If we start taking a look at this and you say, well, how can I use this technology? And this is what Tesla talked about. He talked about this, let's call it a time frame of unveiling for us to either now embrace that. And yes, people didn't think that he was, mentally okay. He even, gave a lot of his love out there, and it wasn't necessarily receptive because it was given in a time to prepare us for where we are today. And we can go look at Einstein, and he says, E equals mc squared. Energy equals mass. It's constant, and that's squared. So that's a multiplier. So we can look at all of this and say, well, then energy, by way of all things, have a vibration. So the vibration is what we're talking about. So here we go. In the world of understanding this one little Nano Card, and by the way, when you purchase them, you get 5 of them. And as Dr. Stan just spoke about the fact that when there are other companies that are understanding this in today's world, that you can buy one of these for $395. And I'm talking about getting 5 for $48. So here is a way for us to be able to really understand negative ions are our friend in the outer world. Negative ions are the air that's near a waterfall. After a gentle rain, it's a negative ions. Why do runners go and run, and they like to run in a light rain or right after the rain? Because all the particulate matter in that so-called atmospheric air, all that particulate matter has settled. So it actually no longer is in the vibrational energy field because of the lightning. Lightning is happening every day, all day long on this planet in order to be able to keep what is called that positive, that's called that particulate in that zone down. And you can see that sometimes as you drive into a city and you can see the haze above the city. That city has a lot of so-called toxicity hovering because it seriously needs a rain. That's a positive charge being put off from all of that field. So if you're living in that, you don't see it, but there are runners that are running on those streets, and that's so toxic. And oftentimes the question is like, why do they have lung cancer? Why do they have respiratory issues? It's because of what's going into that body. So positive on top of a positive charge, a positive intake, which is going to be an impact in your body, is going to impact the poison that's already in the body, and we have a buildup. So all of what we're talking about is how it is that we can have a breakthrough in the process in the midst of a breakdown. Your body's the exact same way. So the Nano Cards are a card that have a ceramic material in the inner layer with 6,000 negative ions, as it is a impregnated, you could call it, it's a charge on the material, and then that material is protected by a sealant, and it looks like a credit card. Now, when you have this card and you are going to use it, there's a number of different ways to be able to use this. You can use this already on your body. So wherever the pain is on your body, that's a cluster internally where there is maybe some dehydration, or that there could be some positive charge cluster, and the cells are constricted somehow, some way, and there is a very specific thought I want you to think right now. Don't go to the medicine cabinet and get the aspirin for the headache. Go get the Nano Card and put it on that pain on your head and let it just sit there for a minute or 2 or 3. And within, I'm going to believe, 5 minutes or less, that will dissipate. If not completely, to a degree where it's manageable. Why? Because it's already breaking apart. So you got to think of this like the negative ion charged card is impacting the positive cluster internally, and it's going to open it up. So now you have a pathway of flow. It broke itself up, and now you have again the flow of the yin and the yang. You can say it's the balance. It's the body starting to go back into its balance of homeostasis. Now you can place it anywhere. If it's in your hips, you have areas, put it in your pockets. If it is that you got it on your sciatic pain, tuck it in the back of your slacks, and you're gonna even tape it on your body. You can actually cut it in half and put it in the bottom of your shoes to create balance. You feel like you have some equilibrium imbalancing issues. You can put it under your pillow. You can put it under your sheets, and you can lay on that at night. If you have some issues with spine, you want to keep that spinal fluid open, because every 8 hours the cerebral fluid flushes. And how the brain gets to the point of detoxifying is that it has to have your the spinal fluids always constantly flowing. If it is that there's something that's blocked at let's call it the blood-brain barrier, and you want to put that right at your neck line, that would be a way to bring up energy to be able to have that constant flow take place. So the negative ions aid in the reducing of inflammation. You can actually have them in, like I said, your pockets, but you can also put it on your car. And you can glue it to your gas tank for better mileage. You can actually put it on as you're pumping gas into your vehicle, you can hold it around that pump. So I'm talking about like the actual hose. You can put it there, or you can tuck it right inside that opening, and that's a negative energy, and it changes the molecular structure of the molecule of the fuel that's going in. So it will have a better burn. So it doesn't matter how it is that you're giving that so-called vehicle a cleaner burn, and that equals better mileage. Some people are talking about 5+ miles per gallon better. Now that's a transition. You start putting that into the equation, and you can say, well, sometimes it's even greater than that. Well, you talk to truckers, you talk to anybody that's traveling. If it is that you can get 5 miles further with one a gallon of gasoline, that's a big deal. And then it helps your so-called filters and everything stay cleaner. And then the other place I like to put it is in the refrigerator to reduce spoilage. You know how sometimes you look at your food that you're buying and say, you know what, kind of on the verge, I don't know how, this doesn't have much shelf life left. You can put it in there, and you can actually go and wash all of your fruits and vegetables with a sink full of water. I put the hydration drops in that water, and then I also put a couple drops of the Enviro product, Nviro, and that is a coconut base, also with a aloe base, as non-carcinogenic. And I soak the vegetables in there, because if there's anything that is an egg or any kind of an insect that has laid its eggs on any of the leaves of the kale or any fruit, anything, and it will also destroy the mold and the spores, which all being said and done, that's what we're putting back into our body. So here it is that we have what is called one more benefit, to be able to simply use a card that can make a difference. And there are 5 in the package for $48 through Shop Free Mart, a buyer's club that's even going to do one more thing as you share it with other people, help you receive the benefits of $31.68. That is their payout on $48. It goes back into you, because they believe that the people are the voice, people are the agents, people are the reward, let's call it partners, that need to be rewarded to the degree in which it is. When we can go off and help other people, it needs to help all people be set free, both physically and financially, and that we know engages into the spiritual. Thank you, Dr. Stan and Dr. K, as it is that you are that 100K breakthrough, and much love to you all. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. So if you don't know, my wife and I were getting a massage, a couple's massage, my ABCD, my adorable brown caramel delight. And they said, Doc, there's some little on your left thigh. You're holding some stress or something. There's a little knot there. We rub it out. It's going to hurt. And I'm like, well, I'm a man. I can take it, right? When they started rubbing, that thing was like, oh, I was like, oh, that's rubbing. Well, I heard on one of the calls where if you just take the card and tape it on wherever you have pain at night and go to sleep and let it do what it does. Well, I woke up in the morning, absolutely no pain whatsoever. I was like, oh, my goodness. And then my car I heard where they said if you tape it underneath to get to the gas tank, and well, I'm a city man. I'm like, I'm not climbing underneath the car. So I said, let me just put it in the compartment, where you pump your gas. So I just put it there. And when I did that, thank you, by the way, my beautiful wife just bought me some fresh juiced carrots, celery, apple, cucumber. Oh my goodness. But anyway, so watch this. So instead of taping it, I just put it in the compartment, sat it there. Wasn't even touching the nozzle where you pump the gas, just sitting in the compartment, the little door that when you want to pump gas, you put it in there. Pump my gas, and my Lincoln MKZ that my beautiful ABCD bought for me for my birthday, and so I turned around because I said I make more than she makes, so let me buy her a vehicle. But anyway, and she of course got some extra brownie points when she said to the car dealer, he said, "What kind of car you want?" She said, "I want what my King has. I just need the SUV version because I got teenagers." But anyway, so watch this, my friend. My vehicle in the city gets 16 to 17 miles a gallon. In the highway, the most I've gotten, slowing down to 65 miles per hour, I would get 23.6 miles a gallon. Well, now I average between 22 to 23.8 miles per gallon in the city. And in the highway, I get between 29 to 33 miles per gallon. Of course, I do a lot of driving, and so it tends, I think, to work better for folks that are taking long trips, especially if you got a newer vehicle. You hit the reset, and it'll let you know, okay, how many miles per gallon. But I'm saying this: the testimonials keep coming in over and over again. I put them underneath my pillow when I sleep, and you'll sleep like a rock. Matter of fact, Dr. Bettina Williams said, "Doc, you better warn people when they put that thing underneath their pillow. If they don't use an alarm clock, they're going to have one. Why? Because it works. It just works." And I could go on and on and on, my friend. I mean, it is absolutely the most incredible thing. And as you know, most vehicles, if you notice this, when they pull off from a stop sign, you can notice from the exhaust pipe gasoline coming out. Well, that's excess gasoline that wasn't used. When a person uses this Nano Card, they call it, I call it the breakthrough card, which, by the way, I also keep one inside my vehicle. Listen now, you can keep one inside your vehicle. You can drill a hole in just one corner and just put some type of string or something around it. You can wear it around your neck, by the way, which I definitely would do that underneath your shirt. Wear it, and if it's sitting on your abdomen, it helps your digestive system. But equally as important, the microwave, the harmful waves that are emitted aren't just doing it when the microwave is on, which is at your face and your heart level. It works even when the microwave isn't so-called on. So when you have this sitting there, it's blocking, protecting the heart. Now, in the martial arts, we always know that the chi, or the key area, the chi is the inner strength that comes out. In a nutshell, this little Nano Card protects you from EMF, electromagnetic frequencies, that are destroying your body, breaking your body down, and this kind of retunes or retools or resets your body back the way God made it. And so you probably heard the other day I had a professional football player, former professional football player for the Patriots, Devin Wyman. They call him the Big Machine. His children call it the Magic Card because of the power, the balance. It increases your balance. It gives you more energy, more power. And when I break boards and bricks, a lot of my friends in the martial arts especially say, "Dude, you're 58. You're still breaking all that stuff like that?" Well, I was starting to, I could tell a little difference But now once I started with using these Nano Cards, oh my goodness, it's like I feel like I'm back in my 25s and 30s. When I hit them bricks, they just explode. And so whenever I do a demonstration, you better believe this is on me. And so it's incredible, my friend. And everybody deserves to be at your best. So I want to tell you something, my friend. If you are not part of this international exclusive breakthrough concept kingdom-based discounted buyers club, you better get back to whoever gave you this information, get their membership. And the membership's absolutely free. It'll last a lifetime, and there's never any auto ship or anything like that. But you want to definitely take advantage of that. So real quick, we are over time, but I want to see if anybody's got a very quick question, a very pertinent question. As a matter of fact, let me do this. I think Bernard Mallory's out there. He's got a testimonial I know about the card. Bernard Mallory, let's see here. If I'm unmute your line, if you can give just very quick 30 seconds to 1 minute. Unmute your line. Mr. Mallory, are you there, sir? Mr.
Yes,
Mallory.
I am.
Hey, real
you
quick,
hear me?
30 seconds. Yes, sir. Loud and clear, Cam.
Yes, I use them in my shoes. I kid you not. I bought a pair of, well, I didn't buy them. The company gave me some new work boots. And you know how new shoes, it don't work too well until you get them breaking in. Well, once I put that card in, I cut the card in half, so I put one half in the other, but it really made a difference. Like walking lightly. It made even my calves feel comfortable. And so now I changed shoes, I changed cards, put them right there with it. So I highly recommend it. Okay?
Wow.
Back to you.
Thank you. Matter of fact, we got a good one of our team members, and that's Ambassador Bernard Mallory, by the way. Thank you. 75 years wise. But this is a business that's so easy. Literally, I call it a no-lose, always and only win business concept. So my wife and I say if it's not win-win-win, we're not in. But when it's win-win-win, we're all the way in. Now, Mr. Robert Cotton, his beautiful wife, who's a nurse, has a powerful testimonial where she put the card on the side of her face, and her headache, as the swelling went down, but the headache disappeared. And I'm telling you, she's absolutely enthralled and thrilled about it. I could tell you about Lester Carter, who, neuropathy with the diabetes and so forth, but hardly any feeling in his feet, and cut the card in half and put half in one sock and half in the other. And by the end of the day, had the filling back in his feet. He felt so good, he went to sleep and kept them in his sock. And his life has been transformed. He's now an ambassador as well. Folks, I'm telling you, if you want business to be booming and checks to be zooming, become a product of the product. I just got more cards in yesterday, by the way. I can't keep them. And it's an instant, get this now, no matter where you are, it's an icebreaker. And anybody who's a speaker, when you do the energy test using these, oh my goodness, no matter what crowd you're in front of, it will get a crowd. I close this story, and that is this. I was driving a little faster than I should have, and it got pulled over. And so anyway, I just found out if you go to driving school, retake, you can, get, instead of having points on your record and all that. And so I did that. And so there was a gentleman talking about the smell in his car because he had dropped a gallon of gasoline. He had a gallon of gas in his trunk and it spilled, and he couldn't get the smell out. So at the break, I said to him, listen, I heard what you mentioned. I said, I have something. I don't know if it can help. It may, but it would be worth a try. Notice this now. So I told him about the Nano Card, and I said, as a matter of fact, let me demonstrate. It has several different things it does. And so all of a sudden, some of the other students that were in the class with me were gathering around, and even the teacher. And then it was by the time I did a few of the energy tests, which had the gentleman hold his hands together, like make like and push down, and then I gave him the card, and he wouldn't move. I mean, it just grounded, just solid, right? Just solid. Same thing with his hands behind his back, try to push straight down, and could push him with this card solid. No, had his hands straight out, and I said, now I'm gonna try to bend your wrist and could bend his wrist easily, give him the card, and now it's solid, could barely even move. I'm saying, listen, there's so many energy tests like that. So make a long story short, my friend, everybody wanted my website, And the teacher of the class said, "Now, Dr. Harris, stay here if you don't mind when everybody's gone." So I'm thinking, uh-oh, maybe I overstepped my bounds a little bit. Well, make a long story short, he got signed up and ordered the card. And I mentioned to him about how there's something they have called hydration drops that will make the card work even better on your body, because every metabolic process of the body needs water to work properly. And so, make a long story short, he not just signed up, got the cards and the drops, which several other students in that class did. But he gave me an open invitation. I can come back to any class, anytime, and do a presentation. And he just called the other day, as a matter of fact, said, "When you coming back to do another presentation?" Folks, I'm telling you, this thing, it could change people's lives. So, already, Pastor, Coach 100K, Lidy, Dr. Ignite, you did an awesome, excellent job. Thank